company says that they have about 50 applications. They will now want to integrate it into Okta. Well, it's very simple. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I can do it. Just give them assurance. Okay, so how do you do it? So now, if you want to set up a single sign-on integration with AzureAD, you go to enterprise applications, and then here, these are all applications that I've added already, right? Now, you are going to go to new application. And then here, you can search for the application that you want, just like the way we have in Okta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see that in Okta, we
Yeah.
have browse app catalog, right? Where you can see all your applications that are already integrated, right? Microsoft also has exactly the same thing. So these are Microsoft applications, but you have to search for the application.
Mm-hmm.
So one example that I'm going to do right now is we're going to set up a single sign-on integration with Salesforce. And then you
Okay.
will see how that is done. I already did it. So let me go ahead and then delete
Okay.
it. Yeah. So let me go ahead and delete it. It's currently set up. Properties, and then delete this app. All right. So let's see if this one active. Yeah, this one is still active. Let me go ahead and then, yeah. So the same, let me log in first. Let me log into Salesforce from Okta. So what I will tell you is that Salesforce, you can register for Salesforce, right? So you can register for 30 days trial. I will show you how you're
Okay,
supposed to do
cool.
it. Let me remove my emails first. And then you go to Google, you are going to search Salesforce. And then you are going to click on login, right? So under here, you are going to see start my free trial. He's going to ask you to put in your name, your company. So your first name, last name, and then your title, the number of employees, and blah, blah, blah. But here, you're going to
Uh-huh.
put your business email. You don't have, if you put your normal Gmail, it will not work. The phone number, don't put your actual phone number. Put,
Yeah.
yeah, just put in a number there and submit it. Immediately you submit it, don't close the browser from here. Immediately
Okay.
you submit it, they will tell you that we've sent you an email. Remain here. Remain in this page. Don't do anything.
Uh-huh.
As you are there, it will automatically sign you in into the Salesforce dashboard. It will ask you, you are new here, select one of these to continue. So it's going to be marketing, sales, and then you just select any of them. Just marketing, then continue. The next one will come, and then after that, it will bring you to, after you do that, it will bring you to this dashboard. Right. All right. So yeah, so that is the steps. Now we are going to, the first thing that you're going to do with the Salesforce integration is that you are going to go to, but just a heads up. When you go to Google, right? Why is my internet doing this? Gee. All right. Google.com. Don't tell me it's blocked. How is Google blocked? That is weird.
Oh,
Refuse to connect. Huh. I just opened google.com right now. So how is it blocked? That is strange. Hmm. What is blocking my Google? Wow, that is very strange. Let me check something here. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, it still opens. So just type Salesforce Azure AD SSO integration, right? So when
yep.
you do this, you can have, let's say, you see that it has given you the step by step. So when you click on this, it's going to give you an article of how you can do this. So do you see this? This is go to app
Yeah.
registration. Yeah, so it gives you everything. So you can have it.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's one way that if you're trying to set up an application and then you don't know how to do it, just come to Google and search and then search for it. You say just get a documentation on it.
Got
All
it.
right. So fine. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to go to this gear button here. You're going to click on it and then go to open advanced setup. So that means it's taking you to the admin console. Then under the admin console, you're going to go to single sign-on. So you're going to go to identity and then you're going to go to single sign-on. And then I've already done it with Entra. So let me remove this one and this Entra that I did so that it doesn't conflict with it. All right. And I've already connected it to Okta. So what you're going to do is that you're going to, first of all, click on new. Now, when you come here, the first thing is that because I've already set it up, you're going to click on edit, and then you're going to check enable SAML. This, you're going to check this. That is with your Salesforce tenant. When you set it up for the fresh, this one will not be checked. So you have to enable this. So you come to edit and you enable it, then you click on new. That is when now you're going to create it. So click on new, it will bring you here. So this is where you're going to create this. Now let's go to AzureAD. So under AzureAD, we will go to enterprise application. We go to new application, and then we are going to search for Salesforce. Now, if the application does not exist, you can create your own application. That is a custom application, right? Just like the way you did with the admin. When you were doing the admin, you see that it asked you to create a custom application. Do not use the Okta Okta. You remember?
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Exactly the same thing. So here too, you can also create it as that if the application does not exist, you do exactly the same thing here. So you go to Salesforce, and then you are going to click on create, right? You click on create, and then you just wait a little bit, and then let's see what happens. All right. So now under here, you have the name, Salesforce, application ID, object ID, and everything. We have these 5 things here. We have assigned to users, set up single sign-on, provision user account, conditional access policy, self-service. Now, all these things here have functions. They all have something that they do. The conditional access policy, I don't know how well you are with the conditional access policy, but the conditional access policy is just like GPO, group policies in Active Directory. So you can set up policies from here. So the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to click on get started. It's exactly the same thing here, single sign-on. So you click on get started, then you're going to click on SAML. And then here, you see that it says set up single sign-on with SAML. So basic SAML configuration, we have this one here. We have identifier, we have the URL, a session consumer service URL, and then the sign-on URL. 3 things. So we need these 3 things from Salesforce. When you scroll down, we have the certificate here, but the certificate has not highlighted yet because we have not put in this. But there's a way that we can get the certificate. When you come down here, these credentials here, these URLs are the ones that we have to put into Salesforce. So this is coming from, so it's set up Salesforce. And this will come from Salesforce, right? So here, under Salesforce, we want the name of the connection that we are trying to create. So I'm going to type Azure.
Okay.
And then it says SAML version 2.0. It says issuer. Now, Salesforce calls it issuer. Okta calls it issuer. But Microsoft call it identifier. So you are going to select this one, Microsoft Entra identifier, right? So you copy this, and then you come to Salesforce and then paste it here. Then we have the CSA's identity provider certificate. We will look at that one later. But let's look at the identity provider login URL. So we have to go back here and then copy the login URL, come to Salesforce, and then paste it here. Then we have the logout URL, go back to Azure, copy logout URL, come to Salesforce, paste it here. So now, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit the certificate, right? So the certificate is Azure. You are going to click on this, edit here, and then you are going to, because the certificate is already active, right? Expiration date is 2029. This is the template. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
click on this three dot here, and you're going to download the PEM certificate download. This one, the second one. So you click on this or click on this, it's going to download it for you. And then you go to Salesforce and you're going to click on choose file. And then you are going to select it from here. Then you click on open and then you see it here. Now, the next thing is that you have to put in the entity ID. So now let me check something from here. So when you look at the setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another setup, it will tell you to put in the entity ID, but I don't see, yes, I only see the entity ID here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you have to put in, so you have to put in the entity ID, which is this one, right? Now, with the entity ID, how you're going to get it is that first, you have to duplicate. Let me remove this because the tabs are too more and I'm getting confused. You have to duplicate the page because we have to go and search for the entity ID from the company settings. So you have to duplicate the page or else by the time you come back, you will lose all your settings. So you just duplicate the page. And then on your left, you are going to scroll down and then you go to company settings. This scroll down and go to my domain.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be the entity ID. But with the entity ID, you have to add, what do we call it? You have to add HTTPS. Now, how I learned this is with Okta. So when you type, let's say Okta Salesforce SSO, right? So when you click on here, this documentation, and you scroll down, it will tell you here. Yeah, this is the entity ID. It will tell you that
Mm-hmm.
if you have a custom domain setup, use HTTPS plus the
Okay.
custom domain and then mysalesforce.com. So when you come
Okay.
here, yeah, when you come here, you have the domain,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you have to add and the surface mysalesforce.com. So you have to copy this. So my domain is abilityflow6097, and then the domain surface is mysalesforce.com. So I have to add so that's the 4 1 here. So
Okay.
I'll come here and then paste it. But before I paste it, I need to add the HTTPS to it.
Mm-hmm.
HTTPS column / and then paste it here. Exactly the same thing that is required here. HTTPS
Yeah.
custom domain. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how I
Okay.
learned that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, yes. So the next thing is that you're going to go ahead and click on save. Now, when you save, it is going to give you the login URL and the logout URL for AzureAD. So you have to come and paste it here. Let me close this one. You have to come and, if you click edit,
Yeah.
you have to, and then you click on add identifier. So some applications, you can just add it straight. You can click on add identifier and it has given you the pattern of how you're supposed to do it. And then with the assertion consumers
Yeah.
URL,
It's the signals. Yeah.
exactly the same thing. But,
Mm-hmm.
but what happens is that here, Microsoft has given you another option where you can upload a metadata from
Mm-hmm.
the service provider. So when you come
Mm-hmm.
to SailPoint, you have the metadata here. The same thing, I also
Mm-hmm.
have it down here. So you're going to download the metadata. Now, we have it downloaded. So if we upload it here in Azure AD, it's going to fill this one automatically for us,
Hmm.
right? Yes.
Yeah.
So we are going to click on upload metadata and then here choose file. We are going to select the metadata that we just downloaded, which is this one. Click open, click add. And then you see that the configuration has opened. You see that now it
Yeah.
has filled it for us. But
Yeah.
it's requiring the sign-on URL. Now, the metadata contains the certificate and then there's the identifier and the assertion consumer URL. And you can open it. You can open the metadata.
Mm-hmm.
Let me open a different one for you to see. So this is my coding studio. So here it gives you the certificate, right? This is the
Yeah.
certificate.
Yeah.
When you scroll down and you drag it here, you see that you see that it
Mm-hmm.
has given you the, what do we call it? The login URL,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is the reason why it was able to populate everything for you. All right.
Okay.
So now now it's requiring for the sign on URL. Now the sign on URL is the same as login URL. Sign on,
Okay.
login, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have to go back to Salesforce, and then just copy the login URL from here, right? And you come back to, where is it? Come back to Azure, and then paste it here. And then you see that the green sign
Yeah.
has checked it here. Now, the next thing is that you're going to go ahead and click on save. So now, after saving this, you have to test it. It will tell you to test it, but you cannot test it yet. The reason is because in order to test it, you need to assign the application to you, the person who is doing the integration.
Okay.
When you come to Salesforce and you come to users, we have users here, and you come to users, you will see that I have my account here, Pearl White. So this is the account that I'm using to set up in Azure.
Mm-hmm.
So this user here has to have the same username in Azure to be able to set up the connection so that a person can get access to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the profile is system administrator, right? If it is a regular user, it will be standard user. So the reason why I'm showing this is because we need a role for it. So the role for this Pearl White in Salesforce is what? System administrator. And whenever you set up a new account in Salesforce, you will automatically get access to the system administrator role, right? So in Azure here, you have to, before you can test it, you have to assign this particular application to the person doing the integration. So you are going to go to users and groups. And then you are going to click on add. So that's how you add a user to an application. You click on add
Mm-hmm.
user or group, and then you are going to click on the users and group now selected. You click on this, and then under here, you are going to scroll down. You are going to type the name of the user, because if you're in a company, it will be could be maybe 10,000 users. So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to search for your name here, Pearl, select Pearl, and then click on select. And then the second one will be select a role. So you're going to click on this, and then these rows are rows that are in Salesforce. When you come to Salesforce and I click on, let's say this is a standard user. If I click on edit here, let's say if I click on edit user, you will see that here under profile, we have marketing user, standard user, solution manager, system administrator. That is exactly the same thing that we have here, marketing user,
Mm-hmm.
solution manager. So you have to select the role. So the role is system administrator because that is her role in Salesforce, right?
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you can go ahead and click on assign. So now you say that now Pearl now have access to the Salesforce, right? So
Mm-hmm.
after we are done with this, we can go back to sign on, and then we are now going to test the connection first. So we are going to test the connection. So click on test.
So everything keeps it there. It doesn't delete when you click off of it to go into.
No, it
Okay.
doesn't delete. Yeah, because I saved it.
Gotcha.
Yes. So when I click on test, I'm going to click on test signing. Let's see what happens. So you see that it has brought me here. I need to confirm with my credentials. So I click on here. It will take me to Salesforce, and then I'm in. Do
Mm.
you see this?
Yeah. Yep.
So that is how you set up. That is how you set up. What do we
Hmm.
call it? A single sign-on
Single
in Azure
sign-on
AD. Yes. So
for an
now,
application. Okay.
yes. So now, if you want to enable provisioning, so right now, okay. Before that, let me